Unit number 4, memory organization. Learning outcome behind this session is discuss different types of mean memory. So today's topic is mean memory. So mean memory is communicate directly with CPU, auxiliary memory and cache memory. That's why you can say that that is the central storage unit for a computer system. It is relatively larger than the cache memory and register memory and fast memory, which is used to store the programs and data during the runtime operations. It is example of volatile memory, which means the data in memory can be lost if it is not saved when the power failure occurs. So primary memory is further divided into the two parts, that is RAM and ROM. So this RAM stands for the random access memory in which you can perform read and write operations, and ROM, that is read only memory. So now see here I have written the volatile memory. So but it may happen if your main memory is made up of ROM only, then this is example of non-volatile memory, because it might be happen uh, in your memory you may require some part that stores the permanent data. For example, whenever you are start your PC, at that time your operating system is going to be loaded in main memory, and this thing is done by the bootstrap loader. This bootstrap loader is stored in ROM portion of your main memory, and ROM, that is example of non-volatile memory. So most of the part of main memory that is volatile, but some of the part that is non-volatile, which is implemented by using ROM. So now what is bootstrap loader? So bootstrap loader is a program whose function is to start the computer software computer software operating system when power is turned on. So whenever you turn on your PC, at that time its initial program is executed. So whenever you turn on, the hardware of the computer sets a program counter to the first address of your bootstrap loader. Now this bootstrap loader loads a portion of your operating system from disk to main memory, and then control is then transferred to the operating system, which prepares the computer for a general use. So this is the use of bootstrap loader whenever you are starting, means whenever you are turn on your PC. So your main memory is made up of two major units, that is RAM and ROM. This RAM and ROM are nothing but one kinds of integrated chips. So now we will see the RAM integrated chips. So this is example of one RAM chip which is made up of 128 into 8. So it's have a capacity to store the 128 words which is made up of 8 bit. So now in this chip, here we have a 128 words. So 128 can be represented by 2 raised to 7. So 2 raised to 7, it means, so this 128, right, 128 is equals to 2 raised to 7. So 7 bit is required for address lines, and here we have a 8 bit data, that's why 8 bit data bus is required. Okay, so this data bus is bidirectional, means by using this data bus you can perform read and write operation. So the 8 bit bidirectional data bus allows the transfer of data either from memory to CPU during the read operations or from CPU to memory during the write operations. So the read and write inputs specify the memory operations, and this two chip select CS1 and CS bar control inputs are enabled the chips only when the microprocessor select these chips to perform any of this operation. So this bidirectional data bus is implemented by 3 state buffers. So it's have a other than the 0 and 1, it's have a high impedance state. Okay, so the output generated by 3 state buffers can be placed in one of the 3 possible state, which include a signal equivalent to 1, 0, or high impedance state. So basis on that, the status of data bus you can identify. So here you can see the functional table of this RAM chips, in which CS1, that is the chip select 1, CS2 bar, that is chip select 2, then RD stand for read, WR stand for write, and this is the memory function, means which thing is going to be performed, and this is the state of data bus. So now here you can see that whenever your CS1 is 0, means CS1 is 0, it means your chip is not selected. So automatically your memory function is inhibit. It means what? It's have a high impedance rate, means no operation is performed. Now whenever your chip select 1 is 1 and your chip select CS2, that is 0, it means chip is selected but they have not selected read or write, means your computer don't want to perform any operations. Then again this is the high impedance state, because both the read and write both are 0, means no need to perform anything. Now chip is selected by using 1 0 and 1 is there, means read is 0 and write is 1. So in this case write operation is performed, then input data to RAM. Okay, so here in write operation means your data get an input from this and write operation will be performed. Now in read operation, whenever this bit is set to 1, right, whenever your read is set to 1, at that time your data will be transferred from RAM to the outsiders. So in this case, if WR is 0 or 1, we don't care, means here we means both the value, either if it is 1 or a 0, but read operation will be performed. So here output data from the RAM. So this is work as output operation. Now whenever this chip select both are set to 1, again this is the example of the high impedance state, so no operation will be performed. So by using these RAM chips you can perform read and write operation. So by seeing this functional table, you can say that whenever your CS is equals to 1 and your CS2 is equals to 0, then and then you can perform the operations. Otherwise your circuit will be goes into the high impedance state. High impedance state means what? Your circuit will be look like an open circuit, so no operation will be performed. Now similarly we have a ROM chips. So in ROM chips it does not perform any kind of write operation. You can just only perform the read operation. So that's why here we don't have any read and write. So we have just only the chip select and address bus. So here we have a 512 by 8. So 8, that's why 8-bit data bus is required, and this is not a bidirectional. And row and 512 means there is 2 raised to 9, that is equals to 512. So we have a 9-bit address bus, so that is 9-bit address bus is there. The value of chip select 1 and chip select 2 must be 1 and 0 to select the this chip. Okay, so otherwise if this CS1 and CS2 have any other value other than the 1 and 0 respectively, then this 8-bit data bus will work as a in high impedance state. Okay, so this is the concept of RAM and ROM. So this by using this RAM and ROM chips, you can make a memory of any size. So based on that, suppose if your memory is made up of 512 cross 8 right capacity, and you want to build this by using 128 into 8 RAM, then it requires 4 RAM. So by using that you can specify how this can be. So by using this different numbers of ROMs and RAMs, you can build the memory of different size. Thank you.